Hey guys, I'm Paul the Motor Guy. Now, have you wondered why riders have trouble when it comes to the friction zone when trying to do slow speed maneuvers? Let's face it, riding fast is easy. Just twist the throttle and the motorcycle practically rides itself. But we all struggle when it comes to the friction zone when doing slow speed maneuvers. Now, there's a lot of videos out there that give you different tips when it comes to the friction zone, which is great. I believe that once we can truly understand the root cause of some of our struggles, it can make the road to success much faster. So hang tight. Now let me start by saying that I don't think we were designed to ride motorcycles. Now before you turn me off, let me explain. As humans, we all have some built-in self-defensive mechanisms that contradict what is needed to ride a motorcycle well. Now you probably won't find this information I'm going to share in a book, because what I'm going to share comes from years of thinking about why we struggle when it comes to slow speed maneuvers. In motor school, we say that slow speed maneuvers is 90% mental and only 10% physical. If you stop and think about it, the principles for keeping a motorcycle from falling doing slow speed maneuvers is really pretty simple. As long as you're in the friction zone and have power to the rear wheel, the motorcycle will not fall. So what makes staying in the friction zone so hard? And believe me, I know it's hard because I've been there. And I haven't forgot how stressful it can be when learning this stuff. Well, I think it's hard because we're fighting against our natural built-in defensive mechanisms. Now let me explain. Now I can pick 100 random people and have them all line up facing away from me. And if I was to push all 100 people from behind and they were all falling forward, what would they all do? That's right, put their hands out to catch their fall. Now they didn't have to go to a special school or course to learn this. This is built into all of us. Now let me give you another example. Now, several years ago, I was babysitting my 1-year-old grandson and he was learning to walk. And I watched him trip and fall, and what did he do? He put his hands out to catch his fall. Now, he's 1 year old. Nobody taught him to do that. So as I said before, it's a built-in defensive mechanism. Now, what I found over the years is that when riders feel like they're falling when doing slow speed maneuvers, they do two things. They put the clutch in, which removes power from the rear wheel, and this causes them to have to put their foot down. I think we do this because when we feel like we're falling, the body wants to ball up to protect itself, which is a built-in defensive mechanism. And because the hand is covering the clutch, we inadvertently squeeze the clutch in, which kills the power to the rear wheel, which causes the motorcycle to start to fall. Now, once the motorcycle starts to fall, we put our foot down to keep us from falling. You putting your foot down is the same thing as you putting your hands out to catch your fall, but you can't put your hands out because you're on the handlebars. So as you can see, our brain is just reacting the way it's designed to. So now that we have an idea why we're doing these things, we need to start to reprogram our brain to do the opposite. So instead of putting the clutch in and putting our foot down when we feel like we're falling, we need to let more clutch out, which will release more power to the rear wheel. Now this takes practice and time. Me just telling you this is not enough to override your natural instincts. Now when I'm teaching a class and the student starts to put his foot down, but instead he lets out more clutch and keeps his foot on the floorboards, I always stop them. And I tell them this, that's the best thing you can do today. Why? Because now you're starting to reprogram your brain. Let's be real. Fighting against this is not easy, but you can do it. How do I know? Because I did it along with thousands of other riders. So keep at it and don't give up. Now let me know if you found this video helpful. And if you did, be sure to like it and share it. Now, until next time, you got it. Practice, 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 and ride safe.